Okay, good. Thank you. Okay, so we're on the bottom of Dalet Amud Beis. Right. I'm just trying to balance my phone here. Yeah. Okay, so we're on the bottom of Dalet Amud Beis, and we're talking about the sugi of Halach. So Halach again means to go, which is that we know there's Moedim and Miktsas is Chayev. Right, meaning if a guy says, Ruvain says, you owe me to Shimon, you owe me 100, and Shimon says back, I only have 50. Right, so he's chayiv to make a shvu on the rest. Right, but if he says halach, so then we had a machlokas Rav Sheshes and Rav Chia. Right, if he says halach, meaning here's the 50, it's yours, meaning so we're saying that halach is pshat, that it's not part of the machlokas. It's not part of the disagreement here. It's like he's saying that 50 is yours and finished. It's not. So Mameli he's not a Moedim Miktsas. So again, using our mashal, if it's 100, and he says this 50 on the table, it's yours. So Mamela, then it becomes 50 against 50. It's no longer 50 against 100. So now the Gemara is asking, I'm going to ask back and forth on Reb Sheshes and Reb Chia. So Masav Marzutra Breder Rav Nachman. We're about 12 lines up from the bottom. Dalet Amud Beis. So Masav Marzutra Breder Rav Nachman. Tanu Kalim v'Karkois. Let's say the guy has tainas on for Kalim and Karkois. Haida b'Kalim v'Kover b'Karkois. If he's Maida by Kalim and he denies the Karkois, right? So Haida or Haida b'Karkois v'Kover b'Kalim. I mean, he has two tainas on him. He has utensils and land. Right? So if he was Haida b'Karkois v'Kover b'Kalim, I'm sorry, let's go back. Haida b'Kalim v'Kover b'Karkois. It was Maida with the Kalim. He says, yeah, I owe it to you. But he denies the land. Or Haida b'Karkois, so Haida b'Karkois, and he denies the Kalim. Potter is Potter from a Shvua, because the two are not connected. So it's not considered Maida b'Miktsas. Haida Miktsas Karkois Potter, if he's Maida on partial Karkois Potter, because we know there's no swearing on land. Miktsas Kalim Chayev, but he's Maida on Miktsas Kalim, then he's Chayev, because he's a Maida and Miktsas on utensils. So when I asked time at the Kalim or Karkois, the reason why, even though he's Maida for Kalim and Karkois, is the Karka la Bashvuahi, because Karka is not a Bashvua. Ha Kalim v'Kalim Dumi the Kalim or Karkois Chayev, but Kalim v'Kalim that are similar to Kalim or Karkois is Chayev. So Hechi Dami, what's the case? Lav Damar le Halach, isn't it talking about what he said? Halach, it's yours. Bishmamino Halach Chayev. So you see from this that Halach would be Chayev. He's still Chayev a Shvu as Moedim and Miktsas. Right? Because the Gemara is assuming that, meaning here even though once he's Moedim partially on Kalim, then he's going to have to make a Shvu on the Karka too, because it's Gilgul Shvu, like we learned yesterday or 2 days ago. You roll it all in. But Karka is like saying Halach. Karka is sitting right there. So you see Halach is Chayev. When it says loy loylam, emelach kalim v'kalim nami potter. Even if he was maida for kalim and kalim, he's still potter, because he said, here's your kalim. Potter katani kalim v'karkos. I'll say, so if that's the case, why are you saying kalim and karkos? Why not just say kalim and kalim? Hakamash malan haida b'miktsas kalim chayev afalar karkos. It's teaching us that if you maida b'miktsas on kalim, then you chayev even on the karka. What is the Maika Mashmal? What's the Chiddush? Zaykikin? So what are you trying to tell us? That there's something called Zaykikin, which means that we require, like from the word Zika from Yevamis, right? Where you're required to make a Shvua, right? What's it? Tinina, we learned that, meaning Zaykikin means that it's sort of like, it's similar to Gilgul Shvua, meaning once you're making a Shvua on one, you have to make a Shvua on the other one. So the Gemara is asking, that's what you're saying by that if you maida on part of the kalim, you have to make a shvu on karka, right? So you're trying to teach us the concept of zaykikin. Tanina, we learned already in kedushin. Zaykikin and achasim shein and achayis, it's an achasim sheyesh and achayis. We are alei shava alein. We're gonna put belongings that don't have achrayis, which is usually metaltalin, things that move, right? As an achasim sheyesh and achayis with nechasim that do have achrayis to make a shvua. So you see that things that normally wouldn't be make a shvua, you do have to make things that normally would not make a shvua, piggyback on the back of something that you would make a shvua. So the Gemara answers, Hacha Ikar. So again, the Gemara is saying, why is it that you're teaching that here if we already know it in Kedushin? So the Gemara answers, Hacha Ikar, here's the main place to teach. Here's the main place to teach it. right? Hasam agav grora nospa. There it's agav, meaning there in kedushin it was just brought agav. Here's the main place that it's to be taught, right? So the Gemara asks, Ulamanda Omar, and according to the Manda Omar that says Halech Potter, right? So the Manda Omar that says Halech is Potter. Amai itzrich krolamute karka mishvua. Why do you need a pasuk to say that you don't make a shvua on karka? Kol karka helechu. Like we said before, karka is by definition halech, right? Meaning we know we have a special pasuk. It's a klalu pran and shvuas. Rashi says that you don't make a shvu on karka, right? So what do you need it for? What do you need the pasuk for? Every karka is like halech, meaning if a guy comes and says you owe money, and the other guy says, he partially admits, and now he's chayiv a shvua, but he partially admits to the karka, so then that's halech. So now you need the pasuk for, let's say the guy dug holes, different types of holes, pits, holes, this type of thing, right? So that's not considered part of the karka. So we would have thought it's not part of the karka, right? And we would thought we'd have to swear on that. Kamash Milan, you don't have to swear on those. Inami, or where the guy tainas on him that you owe me kalim and kakais, v'haida bekalim is maida bekalim v'cover b'kakais, and he denies the karkais, right? So that would be the chiddush, right? Fine. So Tashema. So now we're going to try and say another raya to Halech, right? Tashema the Tani Rami Bar Chama Arba Shaimrim Tzrichen Kvira b'mixas v'Dava mixas. We got to get used to these Shaimrim because could you hear me? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, loud and clear.
There's 4 Shaimrim. Yes. We're going to have it a lot. We're going to have it a lot in the next couple of blot, and then we have a whole parak about it in the third parak. So there's 4, and we had it a lot above a comma. So there's 4 Shaimrim. There's Shomer Chinam, who watches something for free. Shomer Sacher, who gets paid. A Seicher is a renter, who has the same din. Well, it's a machlek is what he has the din of, and then you have a Shayel, who's a borrower. So all 4 Shaimrim, they, depending, the least responsive, the less they get paid, the less responsible they are. But with all these shaimrim, in order for them to have to make a shvua, they need to deny part of what they're being accused of, and they have to be maida with some of the things they're accused of. Shamrechinam, he's watching for free. Shayel, if he borrows. Noise sacher, if he's borrowing he's renting. And Seicher is Noise sacher is a person that's watching it for pay, and a Seicher is somebody who rents. So now, what are they denying? So aren't they denying what? Meaning the guy tells him, I gave you $100 to watch. So if you're saying that in order for him to be chayav shvua, he has to deny something and admit to something. So when he admits, isn't that like saying halech? Like this is your money, right? So heichi dami lav damar le halech. Isn't it talking about where it was halech? So when it answers loy damar le, it's talking about a case of gimel paros masartilach, where the guy said, the owner said, I gave you 3 cows, umesu kulu b'pshia, and they all died with pshia. And he said, chada loy hayu dvarim me'olam. On one, the shomer says it's not true. You just never gave me 3. You only gave me 2. V'chada mesa ba'inus, and one he says died. What do you call it? Inus, unavoidable, right? And one died, and one, meaning basically he admits, one, I was irresponsible. So he's going to be chayav for the pshia, and one he's just denying, and one is ainus, so he should be potter. So the beina shlumela, so v'chada mesa b'pshia, one died b'pshia, the beina shlumelach, so I have to pay you for it. The lav helechu, that's not a case of helech, because you can't say helech on something that's dead. He's not saying that this is your cow, keep it. This cow is dead. Mameli has to replace the cow, so that's not considered halach. Fine. Okay, so that's it. That's right now. That's the end of the sugya of halach. Now we go back to the sugya of maida b'miktzas with with Eidim, right? So we said another din of Reb Chia, which was that if Eidim say that the guy is chayiv half, then he's chayiv a shvur, right? So Tashema the Tani Avud Rebbe Afteriki le Reb Chia Kamaisa. Avud Rebbe Afteriki said to the first Reb Chia, which was the Reb Chia again, where he says if Eidim say he's chayiv half, then he's chayiv, right? He's chayiv a shvur. Manali biyadcha. A guy tells him you have 100. You have nothing. And Eidim come and say he owes 50. So you would think he swears on the rest. It says on any Aveda that he says this is it, meaning I owe you this much and that's it. So the pasuk's telling you that you're only chayiv if the guy meaning he's only chayiv a shvua on the other half that he's denying if he admits that he owes half. If Eidim say that he owes half, you're not chayiv. That's a straight out kasha on Reb Chia. So my answer is Masnisa Karamis Gershon's not on, huh? This is his favorite. This is his favorite teretz. Yeah, Masnisa Karamis later Reb Chia. You're asking from a brisa against Reb Chia. Reb Chia Tanu Palik. He's a Tanu Palik. He disagrees with the brisa, so you can't ask a kasha. So Gemara asks, but he brought the brisa brings a pasuk. It says, "Akol aveda sheyomer." Reb Chia can disagree with the brisa. He cannot disagree with the pasuk. So that pasuk is coming to teach you the concept of moedim b'mitzvos, where if a guy is moedim b'mitzvos, then he has to make a shvua. Okay, v'avud Rav of Tariki. So what does he? How does he know moedim b'mitzvos? Amalach ksiv hu uksiv zeh. The pasuk says hu and zeh. Chad l'moedim b'mitzvos ataina. One is coming to teach you moedim b'mitzvos. Chad la'dos eidim to potter. And one's coming to tell you that if eidim come and say that he owes half, then he's potter. Ve'idach, right? And Reb Chia, what does he do with hu and zeh? Chad l'moedim b'mitzvos ataina. One is from moedim b'mitzvos. Chad l'moedim mammon mimin ataina. One is coming from the min ataina, meaning moedim b'mitzvos has to be that if the guy says you owe me a barrel of wheat, and the guy says, I owe you half a barrel of barley, that's not moedim b'mitzvos. The moedim b'mitzvos has to be in the same type of food. So it has to be either both in wheat, both in barley, etc., etc. Right? I'm not sure what the lumdus is behind that. Why it would have to be that way. V'idach. And what is Reb Afteriki? Where does he learn that from? Moedim minataina Leslie. He doesn't even hold of it. He doesn't hold of this moedim minataina. V'savar like Reb Gamliel. He holds like Reb Gamliel. The Tanan Tanu Chitin v'haydulay b'sayrin potter. The Mishnah says if he tainas on him for wheat and he's moedim by barley, he's potter. For Reb Gamliel mechayev. But Reb Gamliel holds chayev. So the Avud Afteriki holds like Reb Gamliel, and he doesn't care that the admitting has to be in the same type. The admitting could be even in a different type. Okay, now going back to the same din of Reb Chia, that if the Eidim say that he owes half, so then they're chayiv, he's chayiv a shvur. So hu raya, there was a shepherd that every day they would give the animals to him with witnesses. One day they gave it without witnesses, which you know what's going to happen then. In the end, he told the owners, he told them, you never gave me animals today. Meaning they made sure to have witnesses every day, and the one day they didn't have witnesses, he denies it. Came Adam and testified that this shepherd ate 2 of the animals, so he got caught lying. Samar Rav Zera, if you hold Reb Chia's din that the Eidim testified that he ate part of it. They didn't say he ate all the animals. He just said he ate 2 of the animals. So Mishtava Ashari has to swear on the rest. Right? It's pretty straightforward. Amalei Abaya im Isa Mishtava v'Gazlanu. How could he swear he's a Gazlan? Meaning Eidim just came and said that he stole. And now you're going to trust him for the shvua. Amalei, so he said back, Shekenegda Kamina. I don't mean that he's going to make the shvua. He cannot make the shvua, but we have a takonas chachamim that when the person who's supposed to make a shvuah can't make a shvuah because he's a liar, so then we make the plaintiff, the guy tining on him, make the shvuah in order to be able to in order to take the money, which is a real shver takana, because this guy decided to start up with a ganav, so he has to lose and make a shvuah. It's very shver to make shvuahs. Okay, but that's the takanas chachamim. So Gemara says Hashtanami the lesser Reb Chia nechayim Reb Nachman, and now even if you don't want to say Reb Chia's din, we should be mechayim Reb Nachman. The Tanan monali biyadcha. If a guy says you owe me a mana, ein lecha biyadi, and he says I don't have anything of yours, potter is potter. V'amar Reb Nachman mashpiyan oisoi shvuas heses. We make him make a shvuas heses. A shvuas heses is basically a shvuah to make him nervous. Right? Meaning the guy had a full denial, but the Chachamim made him make a shvuah to make him nervous so that he should be saying the truth. So you see, even without Reb Chia's din, anytime somebody denies anything, we make him make a shvuah. So what do you need Reb Chia for? The Rab Nachman, so Gemara says the Rab Nachman, this shvuah's heses, the shvuah to scare him is a takana. On Tomei Beis now, the takanta letakanta lo yavdinan, we don't do a takana to a takana. Right, so meaning, if you hold a Reb Chia's din that there is a shvuah, then you could make the owner require the shepherd to make a shvuah. But if you don't know the Reb Chia's din, so then you're gonna have to say two derabbanans in order to make him make a shvuah, and that we're not going to do. Okay, so it says v'teipiklei dahavale raya. Why don't you just say that we don't trust him, not because he's a ganav, but because he's shepherd? V'amar Rav Yehuda stam raya puzzle. A stam shepherd is puzzle. One answers like kasha hadidei hada alma. One is talking about his own animals. If he's grazing his own animals, if it's a shepherd that grazes his own animals, he's considered a crook. Hada alma, but the alma, if he's grazing other people's animals, then he's not gonna be a crook. He's gonna make sure that animals don't go into other people's fields. Because if you don't say this, how do we ever give our animals to a raya? If we're saying that every raya is considered a crook because he lets them, he's not like Avraham Avinu when he lets them all go graze in other people's fields. So wherever lifnei iver, lifnei iver leisita and mirshal. So the Gemara says a real rule in psychology of doing Yisurim. Ela chazaka ein adam chayte v'loy loy. There's a chazaka that a person is not going to do a chet unless it's for himself. Meaning, if you're doing a chet, you're going to be selfish about it. You're only going to do a chet for yourself. You're not going to do a chet for others. Okay, next. So what do we do in the Mishnah? So again, in the Mishnah, each one's holding on to the talis. Each one says they own the entire talis. So we make him make a shvuah that he doesn't have less than half. What kind of terminology is that? He doesn't have less than half. Why don't we just make him make a shvuah that says, I have half? Right? Al isle mishtava, al less le mishtava. Right? Should he make a shvuah that he has, or should he make a shvuah that he doesn't have? Now, the way Rashi explains it, this is one of those Gemaras where when you want to know what teaches yeshiva guys how to do shtick, this is one of those Gemaras. Right, because when he says, I'm going to swear that I don't have less than half, that could really mean that he has nothing. Right? Meaning he could really be saying the truth by saying, I don't have less than half, which means I really have nothing. So that's what Gemara is asking. He's making a shvuah. Should he make a shvuah on what he has or what he doesn't have? So Rav Huna d'amar shvuah sheyesh li ba. He has to make what the Mishnah means. He has to make a shvuah that he has. He owns part of this talis, and I don't have less than half. Okay, so Gemara asks for name of shvuah shekula shli. Why don't we just make him make a shvuah that he owns the whole talis? So Gemara answers, well, we can't make him do that because mi avina lekula. We're not going to give him the whole talis. Normally, when somebody makes a shvuah, so you're gonna acquiesce to whatever it is that he makes the shvuah. But here, if you're gonna make him make a shvuah on the whole thing, are you gonna even give him the whole thing? So that's not going to work. Right? For name of shvuah shechatzi, wasn't he say a shvuah that he owns half?
But isn't that the truth?
He's making himself into a liar because a minute ago he said he owns the whole thing, right? Now he says you're making only shvuah for half. He can't do that either. So Gemara says hashtanami mara l'dibura, but now he's also saying he's making himself bad because he's saying I don't have less than half when he said he had the whole thing. So the Gemara answers, "Dama kula shali." This is what he says. It's all mine. Ulu divreichem, and according to you, shvur sheyesh liba ve'ein liba pachas michetzia. It's a shvua that I have the talis, but I don't have less than half. Meaning he's saying, I'm swearing for you. I'm not swearing for myself. Right? Naftali, this is what you should have done in your court case, right? I'm not swearing guilty for the handicap parking. I'm swearing for you, right? Then you wouldn't have been in contempt, right? Yeah.
I
So
don't
the
think it would
Gemara
have
asks,
worked.
now, if each one is coming and holding onto the talis, shua zulama, why do you need a shvua for? Right? This is just a rhetorical question. So Amar Rav Yochanan, shvua zu takanas chachamim. This shvua is takanas chachamim. Shelo yehei kol echad ve'echad haylach v'taychu v'talisa shechaveiroi v'aymer shalihu. So that each one won't go and grab onto the talis of the friend and say that it belongs to him. Okay, so you want to ask, so why don't we say, since you're chashad on your mammon, that is a whole new sugya. We'll try and do some of it. Why don't we say, meaning Rabbi Yochanan is saying, it's a takanas chachamim, because if we don't make them make a shvua, anytime a guy likes a jacket that a fellow's wearing, he'll just grab onto it and say, it's mine. And there's no loss. What's his loss? So that's why we make him make a shvua. That'll stop people from doing that. So, okay, but if you're chayshid, the guy's a liar, so how can you trust his shvua? So my answer is simple. So we don't say this concept. If you're chashid on money, doesn't mean that you're chashid on a shvua. Means that we know that different people take different halachas more serious than others. So it's a possibility that a person will steal, but he won't make a false shvua. Because if you don't say this, we're saying this whole concept where a guy is moedim and mikzas. He has to swear. Right? So why are we telling him to swear? Because he only was moed on half, and we really think that he owes the whole thing, and he's just trying to weasel out of it. So name amigu the chashad on chashad ashvu. Why don't we say that it's since he's chashad on mom and he's chashad ashvu? So when answers no, we would trust him. But hasam like we said, he's going to try and slip out of it. Kid Rabba, like Rabba said. Remember what Rabba said? A person wouldn't have the gall to tell somebody who lent him money. He wouldn't have the gall to deny the whole thing, even though he wants to. But he wouldn't have that chutzpah. So really, he wants to admit the whole thing, but he doesn't have the money. So he figures he'll do half. Right? So really, he is a trustworthy guy. He's just in a bad spot. So therefore, we are going to trust him with a shvua. Somebody who denies a loan, and this is going to come up on tomorrow's daf also, more in depth. If a guy denies a loan, he's kosher le'edus, because if he's denying the loan, we assume that he's saying the truth. But bikadon pasal le'edus, but a bikadon, which is from the shomrim that we discussed on Amud Aleph, there he doesn't feel the pressure of somebody who borrowed, so therefore he would lie. So somebody who's denying pikadon is going to be pasaledus. So more than ask. So if that's the case, then what we said on Amud Aleph, that there's 4 shomrim, and in order to be mechayiv them something, they have to deny part of the case against them, and they have to admit it. Why don't we say that since he's chashad on his mom and he's chashad on the shvua? So my answer is there too, he's trying to get out of it. I'm going to find the ganav, and I'm going to grab him. I'm going to put him into jail. Inami. Or I'm going to find, meaning this is talking about a shomer who either he's chayiv in geneva v'aveda, or he lost the animal. So he's basically stalling. So he says, I'm going to just stall and deny it, and then I'm going to go look around town for the animal, and I'm going to find it, I'm going to give it back. So the Gemara says, if that's the case, if somebody who denies his bekadon, why is he pasaledus? Maybe he's just trying to slip out of it. I'm going to go look for it. Sorry. Rashi said bechashna means he's going to look, he's going to achap, he's going to search for it, and then I'm going to find it. So the Gemara answers, and then meaning we should trust a denier of bekadon. When answers kover bekadon pasaledus, when do we say that a kover bekadon is pasaledus? Going to asu sadi vasidube, that's when Eidim come and testify against him. The Eidim actually come and say, this guy said he doesn't have your animal because he wasn't watching it for you. We see it in his yard. Or they say he says he's not watching, he's not holding onto your watch. We saw it on his wrist. So there for sure he becomes Pasaledus. Fine. And the Gemara says, the Gemara asks, so then one of the shvuas that a shomer has to say when he denies and he doesn't want to pay is that he says he has to make a shvua that whatever he was supposed to be watching is not in his rishus. Name amigu the chashar. Why don't we say that he's chashar on his mom and he's chashar on a shvua? One answers hasam nami moira v'amar dmei kayev. There also he's gonna be moira heter and he's going to think that I'm going to pay for it, right? Meaning the shomer decided, he gave me this watch to wear. I really like this watch, so I'm going to hide it, and I'm going to tell him that I'm going to pay for it. So memela, he's a moira heter. So anytime he's a moira heter, we trust him. He's over on loisachmoid, right? Do not covet, right? How does that pronounce it? Don't be jealous, I guess, right? So memeli, you shouldn't trust him. So then the Gemara again goes into the psychology of people. Most people misunderstand what it means. Don't be jealous. They think don't be jealous means you don't be jealous that you want to steal the item. But if you pay for the item, you're not going to be over on it, right? So the Gemara is coming to say no, you will be over on it, right? Yeah, okay. I guess we'll stop over there. I know it was pretty fast, so I apologize if it was not.
I know we're setting a precedent. Aaron Kaplan goes there to Israel and 2 nights in a row he finished early.
Shir Mizmar Losov. No, I can't hear anybody.
We can hear.
No, somebody say something, or I didn't.
I was saying just Lana said something, but nothing important. Yeah, nothing important.
Everything you say, Naftali, is important.
Gershin's on now. We could tell him about Rav Chia arguing with the Raisa.
Oh, Gershon, yeah, we were waiting. We called you out, Gershon. We said your favorite teretz. Right?
Are you getting my text? I sent you a picture.
Rav Chia is a Tanu Palik. Right? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's say the Tillim Pei Gilma, yeah. Shir Mizmal Losaf Lima Do Milach Al Techrash Vatishkoid El Ki Inei Yevecha Yamon Masanecha Nasu Rosh. Alam Chayuri Musari Yasiatu Tzunecha Amr Luchum and Akida Migav Vila Yizach Hashem Yisrael Aid Kinezu Leviachta Valecha Brisich Raisu. Alei Adam Yishmael Mayav Agrim Gval Vamoin Vamalek Paleshis and Yosh Vitar Gamash on Niva Imam HaYisrael Bnei Leitela. Aselam Kimidian Kisisro Kiyavam Nachal Kish.